How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is a video for anyone who feels like giving up. How many of you have had days where it just starts to get too much? You want to throw in the towel and give up on anything that you've been working towards. The idea of just trying another day feels exhausting and hopeless. Well, you're not alone, and every one of us has experienced those exact feelings at some point. Whatever you're trying to achieve in your life, there's always going to be times when you hit a challenging period and struggle with your motivation. Our mind likes to trick us into thinking that we're wasting our time and how could we even consider doing this in the first place. We're left feeling overwhelmed, and it's natural to want to down tools and just give up on our goals that seem so far away. I often think of it as like peaks and valleys, and we're often trying so hard to climb up to the peak, but there's many times along the way that we fall down and we fall right back down into the valley, and that's when it becomes our hardest. Now, when thinking about whatever things you're working towards in your life, I actually always like to think of it as like a road trip that you've had planned. You've planned the route, you have an end goal and end destination in mind, and you set off from your house, which is your comfort zone, for example. And starting is always the hard part, right? We have a lot of anxiety, we feel nervous about the journey ahead, wonder what's going to happen, but we kind of have this excitement to get started, and we just go out there and we do it. And for the first few weeks, everything is great, everything's going super good, everything's rosy, and somewhere along the road on that road trip in a few weeks' time comes our first troubles. We have a flat tire, it's pissing it down with rain, and we have no cell phone reception to be able to get some help. Now, in instances like this, do we just give up and do we just turn around and say, well, everything's gone to shit, I'm just going to turn around and I'm going to go back home? We don't, right? We fix the problem and we continue on our way. So why is it when we're working towards some goals sometimes, we just are so quick and it's so easy for us to just pull the plug? Now, if that sounds like you in any way, or you can relate to that part, I think it's really important that you sit down and ask yourself, why did you start? It isn't always easy trying to reach the top, but you really need to remember why you started in the first place. Why does that goal matter to you? What motivated you to start the journey? I think you need to remember how at one point when you started the journey, you sat down and believed in yourself and you just got started. And you need to think of those times again to sometimes reignite that spark within you. And I think when we first come across those bumps and difficult times, it's really where it becomes tempting to give up, because the comfort of not working towards that goal anymore is temporarily more rewarding than the pain that you're going to go through. And I think one thing I've learned about myself in recent years is that instead of delaying gratifications and where I keep on working towards the goal, I realized that I preferred instant gratification, and I would easily just get frustrated when I didn't get that straight away, and it led to me just giving up on a lot of things. And the problem with that is you're going to have a lot more failure than you are success. And going back to the road trip analogy from earlier, you deserve to be more than just a stowaway in the middle of a journey, right? You deserve to reach your destination, and you deserve to be happy and successful and to have never given up on yourself. So by doing this and remembering why we started in the first place, we consciously accept the challenge and delay those gratifications. And when you're feeling down and feel like giving up, which you're going to have days where you feel like, close your eyes and just visualize that end goal, and visualize how good that feeling will be when you get towards your goal. And maybe it's you crossing the finish line of a marathon race, or maybe it's you getting a promotion at work, or starting that business that you wanted to get started. When you implement your dreams and push through the struggles you face, you're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to learn to adapt and grow at all levels, which you didn't even realize were possible. And I think one of the most important things I've learned is you're going to learn to be persistent. And I think a lot of things that are worthwhile in this life require persistence. And if you give up on the things that matter the most to you, I think you'll definitely be more likely to establish a pattern of just giving up on anything when even the smallest things don't go the way you hoped. If you give up, you'll only end up regretting it. And tomorrow's not guaranteed for anyone, but take a moment and imagine yourself at 80 years old if we all get there. You're in your rocking chair in your sweet-ass retirement home, reflecting on how you've lived, and you imagine your life if you did whatever it is that makes you anxious or fearful. Maybe it's changing careers, taking a trip, and starting somewhere new. How do you feel about it? What's your life been like as a result of that decision? Failure is a part of the process to success, and bad days are just as common as the good days. So failure is not the end, and it's usually just an essential step in the process to becoming successful at something. So don't give up, because a lot of the times you're closer than you might think, and we just need to put in an extra effort and a little bit more. Anyway, I hope this was somewhat helpful for some of you out there, and if you listen to the end, I appreciate you always, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.